Hello. How's everybody doing out there? YDBT Daily coming at you on a Thursday. Today is the last day we're working at Lund Racing. We're not going to be on tomorrow. We're taking a Lund Racing day because for the long weekend, Labor Day, we're going to make sure that we didn't really want to announce it because people try to cram it way up our asshole like a day before because they got a grudge race to attend to. Well, we're going to take it easy tomorrow. It'll give me an opportunity to get the motor in the Fairmont, transmission in the Fairmont, get you an update video. It's just been a long road working on everything and trying to get you video. But this long weekend, I'll get you some stuff. Today, we're going to talk about guys, this is not a repeat. Two recalls, two major recalls on the Ford side. And it really makes me wonder how the hell are they going to fix this? They have recalls on their most popular vehicles. One of them is supposedly a rear camera issue with all their trucks where it can cause an accident. Because when I drove UPR's F-150, I noticed that they had this really advanced 3D weird shit, and it was kind of disorienting. So I just relied on the mirrors, old school. But some people don't really know how to rely on the mirrors. And then there's another thing about brake fluid causing fires or failures or something. And I'm just like, how the hell is Ford going to right the ship? And they're out there promoting Frankie Muniz and, the CEO going on a freaking road trip. Like that's going to do anything in their Bronco. What the hell is happening over at Ford? We'll talk about that. Also, Junior got some tuning done on the Whipple 24 and up calibration. He is doing really well. He's got a 91 octane, 93 octane, tune figured out. He's got a 100 octane tune figured out. Make good power, safe power, nothing crazy. So we'll talk about that and many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
I hit the wrong button. Okay, PMAS. Nick James the PMAS, the best cold air intakes on the planet. Nobody else matters. If you have a late model Mustang that has a map sensor in it, you're going to use a PMAS cold air to make sure that the signal is the best it can be so it can drive the best it can. Oh my God cookies. Get your cookie dough farted on for another $200. Hit them up on their website and say, where is the fart on my dough option? Best cookies around. Check them out. DoMyGodCookies.com. DNAPormers, the online parts house for the show. For Innovations Fuel Systems, dick pics, ass pics, calf pics, jerk off stuff from For Innovations. Also blowers, turbo kits, wheels, tires, injectors, all your go fast goodies at DNAPormers.com, partsfarm.com. Use Mustang, Camaro, F-150 goodies, cranker pallets, pullouts, transmissions, motors, wheels, tires, rolling chassis. Check them out. 2 Auto Solution, Rami's Auto Solution. Tons of F-150s coming out of there. Tons of 24 and up Mustangs coming out of there. He is a 1 or 2 man show over there. Pretty impressive what he does by himself over there. And Bellac Industries, he actually won an event at the Lake of the Ozarks in his class, and his boat actually went like 90-something miles an hour. To be honest with you, he should just get into prop building. Fuck the wheel stuff, because apparently he's very passionate about that. We'll say hi to the people, and we'll have a very laxed show after we talk about Ford sucking all the dick. Monty by 40, Big Pops Beachside, Clean 93 GT. Oh, I forgot, richprince.com/YDBT. I apologize. I'm just really bad at this. richprince.com/YDBT. If you want merchandise and you want to support my show with some merchandise, YDBT and Amory hats, YDBT and Amory trucker hats, Dolo, YDBT and Amory flat brim, the Shiesty. That's right. We have a Shiesty in the house. So if you want to scare the ops, you can let them know that you are part of the Amory while you shoot up the street. Section 8 hoodies and shirts, Hush Money hoodies and shirts, ZR50 Twin Turbo, Coyote, all the stuff. Booty Juice, I love the juice. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, 85 to 86, 87 to 93. Save the manual shirts, 1320 videos, F1320, and YDBT vertical, all the good stuff and stickers. Apparently, this Rich Prince, people want this as a sticker. Believe it or not, my inbox was filled with, are there elote juice stickers available? So if Rich Prince isn't too busy and they want to do an elote juice or booty juice, I think that'd be stickers. I think they would sell really well, but I don't know if it's worth it for them. Dakota Kid, Velga Larga, Mustang Dennis, Clint Stroke, EPR, Amory, Alfredo Diaz Stewart, Wesley Stewart, Cobra 460, D-Rock Fox, Semi-Retired, Street Racer, RoboStyle, J Switch, John Bonanno, Dirt Destroyer, EPA again, Dirt Destroyer a couple of times, John Bonanno, Slow 99, Morales, Sam Morales, Deuce Machina, Crumbopolis, Michael, Whippled, Philfest, Judd, Cobra, JD, what is it? Something Swish? The hell is this? Mark Christensen, J. Judd, Mr. Coffee, El Verga, Paul P, Jeff, Renee, Dante, Flat Cat, Sean King, Flat Cap, Peter Chow, Flat Cat. I guess, what's his face? Savar Martiner, what's his name? The guy that, Billet Noonan. He's probably going to do the, I guess, Yellow Bullet is a thing up there. I never thought Yellow Bullet was a thing, but it's like a regional Billy Badass race. I don't care about it because it's racing, to be honest with you. I'm more of a non-racer. Victor Sardone, Clayton, JD, Anthony, Minibad Madman, EPA, Minibad Madman, No Lift Shift Connor, Dean Performance in the house, Matt R, Crumbopolis, Clayton, and Eric. Let's talk about what's happening over at Ford. This one kind of blows my mind. Oh, 4th of July sale. Here we go. So I just got an email here that, sorry for the late notice. Can we do a Labor Day live read? Of course, DNA Performance. DNA Performance is dropping up to 50% on most major brands. Borla, Corsa, Whipple, ARH, Fuel Injector Clinic, 4 Innovations, Mickey Thompson, Weld, Ford Star, and more. Want in? Message DNA Performance today and tell them YDBT sent you. They'll hook you up for the right deal for your build. Financing's available with Shop Pay, so no excuses. Upgrade now. Live read commercials. I love it, love it, love it. So let's look at the first recall notice that I saw today that was kind of mind-blowing. Ford recalls 500,000 vehicles over brake fluid leak that could increase risk of a crash. That was today at 11:41 a.m. Ford is recalling 500,000 vehicles over a brake fluid leak that extends how much time it takes to brakes to kick in. The rear brake hose may rupture and leak fluid, requiring more distance to stop the vehicle. Certain 2016 to 2018 Lincoln MKX and 15 to 18 Edge SUV vehicles are included in the recall. Ford said it estimated 1% of 499 vehicles or 4,991 cars have the defect. It is not aware of any accidents or injuries linked to the recall. Drivers may notice a change in the feel of the brake pedal and its travel, and a red warning light will illuminate if the brake fluid level reaches a specific level. So that was that. And then when we go back, let me see, Ford recalls. Another one right here, 300 Fox Business, 355,000 trucks are being recalled because of a dashboard display failure that could cause crashes. NHTSA warns dashboard panel failures prevent drivers from seeing critical speed and warning information. The NHTSA said certain Ford 25 to 26 models, such as, listen up guys, this is their bread and butter, F550, F450, F350, F250, and F150 were included in the recall. The instrument panel display shows critical information for drivers such as the car speedometer, tachometer, fuel gauge, and engine temperature, and odometer. If there's an issue with this panel, then it typically means something is wrong with how the car displays information such as speed, fuel level, and navigation. The instrument panel cluster in the recalled vehicles may be blank when the car is turned on because of a computer error that occurs when the system is trying to go into sleep mode. This condition can prevent the safety-related telltales and gauges from being readable, increasing the risk of a crash as critical safety information may not be displayed, Ford told Fox Business. Ford is aware of 95 warranty claims and one vehicle questionnaire related to this concern, but not aware of any accidents or injuries. So then I started saying, let me look at Ford stock. Of course, big drop. Big drop today. Look, this is the last 5 days of performance. And 1 month. Okay, they were on their way up. But in the last 5 days, it went from $12 a share down to $11.50. But again, I don't know what that market cap is, but that's probably not good because of a total of 850,000 recalled vehicles. Jake and I were having dinner yesterday. Jake came over, and after my crash out, he came over and said, you know what? Let me come over again. Let's get this chain figured out. Let's get the cylinder heads figured out. Patreon, shout out to the Patreon members that helped me figure out that the bolts on the oil pump itself, on the housing, were too long and were hitting on the crankshaft. Alfredo Diaz and Slow 99. Shout out to you guys on Patreon. You helped me out. So Jake came over. He goes, man, I didn't think that'd be an issue. We figured out what the bolts were. We put the cylinder heads back on, cams, timed it. Boom. The long block is assembled. I have to put the oil pan on, cam covers, front cover, get the transmission, made it to it, and put it in the Fairmont. That is my task for this weekend. So we were talking, and he's like, I'll be honest, Alex, I don't want to buy any new cars. I don't want to buy any new cars. I didn't apologize to Jake. He understood the crash out. I was like, because I said, hey, man, I'm done. We're good. And Jake was like, oh, man, okay. And then he called me that morning. He's like, you want to just do it Wednesday? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not feeling good about this. He's like, look, let's just do it. I'm going to be leaving for a week. So if I can't do it this week, I won't be able to do it for 2 weeks. I said, all right, fine. So we hung out yesterday, and we're talking, and he's like, I don't want to buy any new vehicle. I want analog. I want nothing but analog. I would rather buy an old F350 with a 460 in it than a new anything. Because all I do is tow my boat to the launch and back with my F350. So I don't want the fancy bullshit because of all of this stuff. And when I got into the UPR F-150, I started noticing that you are being distracted from how the truck is actually performing. So you get in a new vehicle, and it's, remember when there used to be laws about texting and driving? Remember when I'm sure there still are laws about texting and driving, but I can make the case that the infotainment is arguably more distracting because you're constantly looking at it. Go ahead and get into a newer F-150, 24 F-150. Look at how massive the display is. It's like a 15-inch display. It is, or a 17-inch display. It is huge. And you can see insane detail. You can watch YouTube videos. You can do a bunch of stuff. That is way more distracting. Then you get in the truck, and the truck has a whole freaking animation in front of you. And you're like, so when you're driving it, it's just a distraction. So I think that manufacturers are not giving you a better vehicle. They are distracting you with doohickeys and doodads and stuff that make it cooler to own this truck. But how's the truck? How's the truck itself? Well, apparently, software glitches and brake hoses failing and phaser issues and all this 10R80 issues and the thing you put it in park and make the truck better. I was talking to a guy locally here, and he's like, you have a bunch of Fords, but why do you have a Cadillac Escalade? Because I wanted a V8 truck. I didn't want twin turbo. I didn't want dual overhead cam. I didn't want phaser. I didn't want anything. I wanted something that it has been made for such a long time that you would think that they got it hammered out in this Cadillac. And I'm be honest with you, I have not had, knock on wood, any issues with the Cadillac. It needs some suspension work, but that's wear and tear. And I'm just like, boy, out of all the vehicles that I've had, the one that has never given me trouble has been the Cadillac. Like, the other ones have been performance cars. But I couldn't imagine, like, Jake has had issues with his 10R80 truck. By the way, I'm going to get that truck. We're going to do some tuning on it. I'm going to have it for a whole week. So I started thinking, I don't think I want to buy anything new that Ford is putting out there. The new Mustang does not attract me. You see them a little more often now because they've been out for a couple of years now. And you're like, I still don't look at that car and lust after it. The more I look at the newer stuff, the more I look at older stuff. I go, I'd rather have an old Celine S351. Guys, I swear to God, if in a year there is a S351 black 99 available for under $50,000, I'm getting it because the Viper is out of reach. The Viper is 120 plus. So I'm good on that. But I'm telling you, I am looking at older and older stuff, or Coyote up to 2020, not 21, not 22, not 23. And Jake told me what's happening with the swap market with 21 and up. 21 and up has a different transmission configuration. So if you were to put let's say for instance, you go to a junkyard, right? And you buy a 21 and up 10R80 engine combo. You better make sure you have a 21 and up control pack. not an 18 to 20. Because if you have an 18 to 20 control pack or tune, controlling a 21 and up, it'll throw a P163F code. There is a difference. And remember, we told you guys about, or I told you that Gen 3 to me ended in 2020. Because that's when you had access to the saucy shit. 21 and up is not attractive to me. It's got a lot of access. But I'm going to be honest with you. When I tune these cars based on the software, I would rather tune an 18 to 20 all day, every day, before a 21 to 23. And I am more confident that I can get more out of an 18-20 than a 21-23 based on what I see and what I have access to. Maybe Junior, because he has more access and he has the ultimate access, goes, no, it's not the... But when it comes to me, the guy dishing out beach, Junior's the chef. I'm the server. And I'm giving the food to the customer. And then the customer complains to me, not the chef. So then I have to make him happy. I am the server. He is the chef. So if I have access to what I have access to, I'm going to say 18 to 20 because that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm seeing that performs good. And even on the swap market, people are like ditching Gen 4. Yes, Jake said Gen 4 is being ditched for 18 to 20. He goes, Alex, I had a customer buy 3 control packs and engines, 24 and up, didn't use them, pain in the ass, bought from me 3 2020 control packs and Gen 3 engines. And I was like, ain't that some shit? He goes, yeah, people are realizing that the new shit is still not figured out. So if you want the latest and greatest Gen 4X and all this crap, you might have to deal with issues. You might have to deal with glitchy stuff. You might have to deal with not having all the access to that calibration, where even shops that pertain to swaps specifically, Broncos, Cobras, stick to Gen 3, according to Jake. So I'm going to be honest with you, I would still do a Gen 2. I would still do a Gen 2. The only reason to get into a Gen 3 is if you're going to immediately put a Turbo 400 in it. Unless, look, I had a customer call or hit me up and he's like, I got a garage race and no prep is getting real popular here. And I'm like, then get a Turbo 400. I am not going to sit there. Listen to me. I'm not going to manipulate the transmission at all for no prep stuff. Because the moment you lift, it commands an upshift. So if you launch, the car goes, what? And you lift, it goes into second, as it should. Why don't you make a tune that you could pedal it? Pedal it? Why don't you get a 400? Why don't you enter a race program and then configure the car to that race program? So if you are dying to get into no prep, you put a 400 in the thing. All that to say that if I'm going to get into a Gen 3, I'm going to put a 400 in it. ASAP. The MT82 D4 sucks in the Gen 3. The 10R80 is okay up to about 850 horse. But if I want to really get after it and be in the mid-8s on a stock motor with a power adder, you shove a badass 400 in it and twin turbos, a Whipple at 20 PSI, an E-Force at 20 PSI, a Odin, a Magnuson, whatever you want to do. So I'm not buying any new shit because the more recalls happen to new stuff, the less likely I'm ever going to get into any new Ford stuff. This channel will end up being just old Ford stuff. Like I'll revert back to, freaking small block Ford stuff and learn that. But trust me, the Coyote stuff will be around forever. Why do you think I'm putting a carbureted Coyote in the Fairmont? You think I'm putting a carbureted Coyote in the Fairmont because I want to make my life more difficult? No. Tuning is simple. Crank fuel is on my foot. Minimum throttle angle. Turn the screw. Pedal enrichment. Jets and squirters. After owning the carbureted Fox body, I thought to myself, imagine a carbureted Coyote. As long as spark is good, the car's happy, you get fueling figured out. Yes, you get wide bands. Yes, you get all the nannies to make sure that you monitor everything. I think it's a way more favorable setup than the newer stuff. The newer stuff does not attract me. anymore. So the only reason I'd get into a Gen 3 is if I'm going to put a turbo 400 in it. And if you're going to get into a 10R80 because you want to roll race, cool, but then at 850, 900 horse, or when you go to a track that has grip, you can say bye-bye to all that bullshit. Grudge racing a 10R80, shaking my damn head. Guys, there are people that think grudge racing is like this graduation of racing. Class racing, to me, is graduating because you are limited by class rules. Grudge racing is who's got the deepest pockets. That's all it is. And the fast grudge cars are Fox bodies or older body cars. But this new weird obsession of getting a newer car and grudge racing a newer car, like with an overdrive transmission, is goofy behavior. Ridiculous, goofy behavior. Sam said, what's up, Theo? I want to swap my illuminator into my AC Cobra. Maybe with a Paxton. A 2200 SL stock throttle body. Okay, maybe with a Paxton. Don't want to lose the small block Ford chop. Is it possible to get a Ghost Cam tune on a Gen 1 control pack? Yes, but not a stable one. One of the best things about the newer computers is its ability to control a low idle or to manipulate. I think the advancements in the computer processor and the speed it recovers certain parameters or adjusts lends itself to a more stable idle lope. Gen 2, the best. The best. If you have an NA or turbo Gen 2 or centrifugal Gen 2, you know what I'm talking about. It chops just right. It hits just right. It recovers just right. But Gen 1 is dumb. It's stupid. And now Gen 1 is starting to show its age. I'm starting to see issues with even old GT500s. 11 to 14 GT500s are now starting to act like Cobras. And I think it's just age. I used to be able to put let's say I have 3 GT500s in front of me. They all are the same spec. 2014, performance package, PMAS 120, twin 67 throttle body or twin 65, dual BAPs, 1050X is E85. Every single one will tune differently. So Gen 1 is starting to be that pain in the ass, Cobra style, hack your way, really understand the control system to be able to achieve a certain outcome. I'm saying all this, Sam 50, so that I can put an asterisk next to this comment. Yes, but it won't be stable. Now, if yours happens to be stable, cool. Because nothing sounds better than a choppy, centrifugal something. Just the nature of the chop and the whistling of the Paxton Pro Charger or whatever. It's super nice. I'll be honest. You come into a meet, you know? So if you were to do a Gen 2 control pack with a Paxton, I think you'll have a better shot at a Lopi idle. But the problem is you're using your complete Gen 1 long block. So that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Grudge race a 10R80 after the burnout, skips a shift and launch and then drops 2 gears and goes into neutral. The backup camera on the S650 would stay on regardless of putting it in drive. China rotors will take 20 PSI. My wife bought a new GMC Canyon. Headlight on, off, and fog light control are in the infotainment screen. God damn, that's terrible. That is terrible. Are you putting a carbureted Coyote in the Fairmont to make things more difficult? No, I'm putting a carbureted Coyote in the Fairmont to make things easier. See, the dirty little secret about Coyote tuners is that they don't understand carburetors. The dirty little secret about EFI tuners is that they don't understand how a carburetor works, which tells me they don't understand how engines work. Like, they don't have a general understanding of what a carburetor does, how it does it. So when I reference squirters on the carb, I make changes that are probably not kosher to the way Lund operates, but I know it achieves a certain outcome. And maybe they call it hacking. But if the customer sees positive results from me making those changes, I go, cool. It's not such a hack that it's going to be like questioned, but it's like, you shouldn't have to do that. I know, but the car likes it. Ride the fuck out. So when I say squirters on the carb, I want to get rid of a tip-in issue, right? Ha-pum, okay. Adjust the little leg, bigger size on the squirter, you know, tighten the spring, loosen the spring, delay the ramp on the throttle. There is ramp on the throttle. I can actually manipulate how fast the throttle and pedal feel based on a little cam that's on the lever, on the mechanism. So I thought to myself, I don't have to rely on a computer doing math to achieve an outcome. Crank fuel, it's 2 pumps of the carb. Tip-in fuel, squirters, more enrichment, pedal feel, everything the carburetor already does. So when a new age tuner he poo-poos that talk, I go, then you don't know anything about how cars work. If you don't know how a carburetor works, and you cannot make that correlation as to how it comes into play to the EFI world, you do not understand engines. Full stop. Army Boys for Life says, Alex, now that we've seen a modified Gen 3 versus Voodoo head, looks like the top 3 mod motor 4-valve heads are 4GT, GT350, Gen 3 4 Coyote. Yeah, the GT head is badass. I'm not going to lie. The 350 is badass because it has a factory CNC program. And yeah, Gen 3 4 Coyote. That's exactly, in my opinion, you have it correct. The top Ford 4-valve cylinder heads are 4GT, 350, and Gen 4 Coyote. 3-4 Coyote. People always ask if Gen 2 was cammed, and I told them, nope, that's Lund sauce. Gotta love this show. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Thank you so much. My Gen 2 chops better than any of my Gen 2 or Gen 3 stuff around here. People are still asking if I have a 5/8 swap. What's controlling spark on the Fairmont? MSD grid? My voice is shit. So it could be a couple of things. Now, I don't want to buy 2 softwares, but I want to have VCT active. I know the benefits of VCT. So what I need is VCT control and no fueling control. So spark, reluctor, coil on plug. So it's going to have to be like a Holley or MS3 or something. Because Jake got his Cobra running, and I'll show you that in a video, Instagram. And we're going to go to Danielle's page, which is Jake's wife. Danielle. And it sounds funky. So this is a Voodoo Cobra. This is a Voodoo Cobra. This is a Voodoo swapped Cobra. This is Jake Long and Danielle Long's 96 Cobra. Voodoo, built Voodoo. Billy Badass Voodoo. Okay? And twin turbo. Oh. By the way, that shop's at his house. Bastard. Good for him. Yes, it sounds like 2 Subarus because it has no crossover pipe. So, Voodoo, 9,000 RPMs, twin turbo, gonna be badass. He is controlling that with Micro Squirt, Mega Squirt, 3, I think. VCT control, widebands, the whole 9 yards. And I thought, if you can get that running and VCT working, why can't I? And have a carburetor on it. And I don't have to input injector data. I don't have to input anything except the firing order and the spark advance, the firing order and the spark advance. Everything else I do, and I'm going to get the car running NA. So I'm looking at either that software, mod, what is it called? Mod 6 or something like that. But I don't want to cut into the freaking reluctor and cut a reluctor off of the intake cam or anything like that. Or Holley, which I really don't want to mess with because I'm not a big fan of their products, but it might have to be something like that. I'm a part of the team now, says Clayton. I'm in the Patreon now, boy, says Clayton. Congratulations. Welcome to the Patreon. Maybe lock to Gen 1 cams. I don't know. I know that's not the best move. I don't know. Gen 2 cams and timing will be best with a Gen 1 motor. Sam50, put your illuminator in it and hope that the chop works. If you don't want to lose the chop, put a centrifugal on the Cobra motor. Hey Alex, what power do Coyotes need aftermarket cams? Hey Alex, what power do Coyotes need aftermarket cams? Hey Alex, at what power do Coyotes need aftermarket cams? Oliver, what cams do you think are on the Grey Goose? What cams do you think are on the Grey Goose? Thanks for the reminder. Like button went straight to full screen. Off topic, but these Hurricane swaps are looking nasty. Looks like your boy was right again. Remember I said the Dodge Hurricane motor was badass? No, it sounds gay. I don't know. These motherfuckers are going 8s in it. They're swapping it and shit. Seems to be pretty damn stout. It's huge though. Have you seen how big that fucking thing is? Fuck. If you want to control the cams and still look up Max ECU, they have cam control. Hey Alex, stupid question. I have a 13 Gen 1 PMAS, long tubes, and an N-gauge. I want to build a show streetcar. What power adder should I consider? I've been looking at Paxton, but I don't want to blow the rods. No, with a centrifugal, you're less likely to blow the rods. This is why. The failure of the rods happened because, let's just say, low engine speed and high torque. So if you're going to hurt a motor, you're probably going to hurt it with a TVS before you with a centrifugal. The centrifugal makes power when the car is already at high RPM, 6,000 RPM. So if you stay at 10 PSI, it doesn't matter what centrifugal you put on it, you're less likely to hurt the motor with a centrifugal than a PD blower. MS3 Pro Mega Squirt. It was what people go to because it's plug and play with the factory harness. I don't have a factory harness. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Gotcha. Mega Squirt for the win. Open source. Would it be worth it to swap Gen 1 cars to Gen 2 ECU, or is it not worth the hassle? Not worth the hassle. Do you know how much? Do you know what you just asked right there, Phil Fez? How would you get readouts for the dash? How would you get CAN bus stuff? Bro, you just asked a massive engineering question right there. Aspirin guy, Predator cams, exactly. Aspirin cams, stock 350 cams. So why would you need an aftermarket cam when we still have not seen the limits of the Predator cam / 350 cam? Have you heard of Max ECU or something like that? I'm seeing more and more people using them. Never heard of Max ECU, but again, once I get the motor in the Fairmont, that's when I'm going to have to start looking to be like, all right, what do I need to control this? And guys, by the way, the Corvette is still up in the air. The Corvette is still up in the air. The Corvette has locked cams. So the ZR1, once the turbo kit comes back and it gets back into my possession, me and Jake are going to go, do we do Mega Square? It has CAN bus control. It has all that stuff. So, that's something to think about too. The Hurricane sounds great on corked, and you can run Motec on the Hurricane. The Hurricane on a single turbo setup sounds good. 10R80 is king. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Where? In what application except roll racing at under 1,200 horse, roll racing only, is the 10R80 king? Drag racing, it's not king. Stop it. Bonnelberg in the house says, hello, I'm late, start over. Good morning. Alex, how does it feel having several cars that gap most people? So when I go outside with the GT500, that car is probably making in the 900s or so range. Remember, it's a low compression illuminator, but I feel that this car is making so much more power than I thought it would make because I was on the highway yesterday. Remember, this car has 275 60-15s, full suspension, roll cage, good stuff. And I did a third gear hit at 80. And it went, it's fucking sideways. And I'm like, what the hell is this thing making? So when you go outside in that car, you know you got a lot of people covered. But I don't know. I don't go outside looking for a race per se because, look, that car is going to have IAT issues if I go wide open throttle with the ice in the tank. But the white car, right, the white 8-second car that I own, that I'd love to drive on the street. That thing has AC. Well, it doesn't have AC in it now, but you can just put a compressor in it and have AC. That car be cooler because it's auto, more comfy, less stress. The blue car is stressful to drive. It's a face-plated T56 with a pretty aggressive clutch. It's got dual throttle bodies. It's not necessarily the best driving vehicle. Wide open throttle does great. So, I don't know. I don't feel superior because, you got people covered by so much that it doesn't matter. I feel better about those cars when they're in their element at the track. That's when I say, okay, the cars that matter are at the track because these cars are going to get it. And I want to see how I stack up against most of the cars at the track. So let's say, for instance, I take the GT500 to like a regular, track day, like a test and tune. And I'm on there and I'm beating 90% of the cars. And the only cars that beat me are Billy Badass drag cars. I feel great about that. The white car should beat most of the cars at the track also. So I don't get a feeling of superior anything because those cars to me are configured for their best performance on the street. Now, if I have a GTR, an R8, if I have a fully built R8 that makes 1,500 horse, I'm swinging my dick. I'm looking for people. It is a refined Billy Badass car. But then what happens when you have a car like that? You can only race cars at that level. You're going to bully everybody else. Nobody's going to want to race you. So for those of you that don't own cars at that level, don't think it's great because the racing, you're not going to find a lot of races. You know what car I drive and I know I'm going to find a race? Donnie. I get in Donnie and I'm like, Scat Packs want to fuck with it. Camaros want to fuck with it. They want to fuck with it because they're like, this is a bitch ass car. And I'm like, race me, pendejo. Mustangs, modern Mustangs want to fuck with it. I can't wait to put a Paxson, a 2200 SL on that thing and have it be like a 1070, 1060 car. That's fun. The problem is when you own a car that makes 900 or 1,000 horsepower, you are out of the fun zone. There's a fun zone. And it's 400 wheel to 700 wheel. Fun. Past that, you're going to find less and less people to race. White car making money on the street. Hey, Theo, if you had to make 1,000 horsepower for roll racing, turbo setup, what generation would you go with? What would you do? Okay. Very specific, right? Roll, turbo, Gen 3. Gen 3. Roll, turbo, Gen 3. Now, what are we doing? Are you ever going to drag race that car? Because the moment you get grip, those clutches that were okay on the street, slightly spinning and hazing the tire, are not going to be happy once you got grip and has to move the car as quickly as possible through a grippy track. But for your application, 1,000 horsepower, roll racing, Gen 3. I was watching Flying Wretched this morning and he said the 10 already had a drum and something else updated in 2024 at the end of 23. So the 25s have updated as well. Better drum. The built transmissions have a better E-drum. I think it's called the E-drum. I'm not 100%. Would a Boss 2 intake benefit from aftermarket cams? No. Well, I don't know how different the Boss cams are over the GT cams. I don't know about specs, but let's talk about, let me see, Boss. Let's do 2014. Let's just look up the brochure. Boss 302 horsepower. 444. So it has 24 more horsepower than a GT. But it has CNC heads. It has different cams, different intake, and a better long block. What do we attribute the power to? The Boss intake, the cylinder heads, or the combination of the cylinder heads, the intake, and the cams? It's one of those things that no one really knows. Theo, You would be the perfect CEO for Ford because you come from a place of authority and are well-spoken. You'd fix Ford in a heartbeat if you were there. No, you don't understand. CEO is a political position. You understand? It isn't a do position. President is something else. You can directly influence things. The CEO answers to the board. The board pretty much tells you what to do and why you're doing it. We need to make money. We don't care how you got to do it. We need to make money this quarter. We need to make money this year. So even if you make decisions, like what's going to happen is the next CEO of Ford, if he has nuts, he's going to say, we got to right the ship. So what's going to happen? It's going to suck for a couple of years until it gets better. I was giving him the wide berth to be like, all right, it's going to suck for a little bit, but it's going to be better. And every time he came up with a new plan, it sounded dumber and dumber and dumber. So I thought to myself, you gotta start saying things in a positive manner. And I'll give you an example. Elon Musk isn't the CEO of anything. He is president, and he has CEOs in place of his companies: SpaceX, Tesla, Boring Company, Neuralink, all that other bullshit. By the way, the last launch was phenomenal. They did a killer job. So, but he directly influenced them by going in there and saying, this needs to happen at this time now. Like, he has more authority as the president or owner than a CEO. CEO to me is a political position. I don't think it's a position where I would have direct influence of what's happening right there. Again, it's silly to think of me as a CEO of anything. But I do come from a place of mechanical authority. And I think that's missing in this industry specifically. The tuning industry is run by guys that steal files. Sorry, you and I know in your heart of hearts, you're a fucking thief. And you are put in a position of authority because the people you're tuning think you know what the fuck you're talking about. And then you start telling them like, I don't know, maybe you should build the transmission. Build the transmission, still doesn't shift. You know, so I come from a place of mechanical authority. I don't think I'd be a good CEO because I'm really bad at politics. I'd probably fire people on the spot if they weren't doing their job. That's what I want Roush to be in the 700s. Gen 1 control back ghost cams are tricky. Got to get the throttle angle just right. And takes time, but it's possible at Sam 5.0. Got to get the throttle angle just right. Fun zone it is then. Auto isn't for me. Manual makes me happy. You give the most legit, humble answer about driving a build car on the street. Appreciate that. Most people just see the street racing videos and think it's all good. No, it's really bad. I hate driving the GT500 in bumper-to-bumper traffic. It is awful. It's awful. But when I get on the highway, I'm like, this is pretty good. But what do I have to do to get into third gear from sixth gear in a faceplated situation? I got to rev the shit out of the car so that the transmission is spinning at an RPM that allows me to put it in third gear. So I'm guessing what that gear wants, right? And sometimes it clunks into the gear and I'm like, ugh, as opposed to just putting it in there with the synchronized transmission. I think you should stay in the fun zone. Don't go after face-plated stuff. Don't make your street car a race car. I have been demodding the GT500. The next mod on the GT500, after it runs an 8, it needs to run an 8-second quarter-mile stick shift. The moment it does that, it'll probably never go to a track again. And I will put a single big monoblade throttle body on it, reconfigure the cold air, buy a synchronized T56 transmission in there, and live a happy life. How come some tuners can give unlimited credits with HP tuners? Because they got hacked cables. They got hacked devices. There are devices out there that have unlimited cable hacks so they don't have to pay HP tuners credits. Those guys have gone to like litigation. HP tuners will send you to court ASAP if they find out you're tuning with like a hacked cable that gives you unlimited credits. So they don't update their device. Found an interesting video on them being the same spec as GT cams. Ford sells Boss cams aftermarket, so they never put them in actual Boss production cars due to emissions, of course. When was the last time Farley stepped into a factory corner office only? Whatever happened to the rumors of Ford releasing a new age Fox body? I feel like I heard that a couple years ago. It was a joke. Don't worry, the drift brake is going to save us, said nobody ever. Customer used to race his 23 RCSP everywhere. Now he rolls around with 1,000 horsepower on drag radials all day. No one takes him on. Alex is the CEO of YDBT and Super Cool Tuners. Eric Mojica says, Alex, what do you think about the Predator blower on a 21 to 23 F-150? Does it fit? I think it'd be cool, but it's not any different than a Loki, a Roush blower. What's different? What's different? It's a 2650 that needs porting and brick help to make good power. Like, I'm saying good power without crazy high IATs. The Predator blower isn't great on its own. It's great with a bunch of mods. So you take it to Greg Kong and say, port it. He ports it. Put some bricks in it. And all of a sudden, now it's a good blower. But then you're doing the same thing to that you would do to a Loki, a Odin, a Whipple. So maybe the price, right? And the Fiat system. That's interesting, right? How do you configure the belt drive system? Because it's going to be funky. I don't know. There's a reason that people don't do it. CJMND says, hey, Alex, newbie car guy here. Just got my first project and have only ever done an oil change. My project is a 3rd gen S550. What a step up. What combo do I need to smoke your shit with love? Well, not much. My GT500 from a roll is probably a 450 to 430 car right now. You with a V7 JTB Vortec 2.9 pulley and a 10%, or a Paxton 2200 SL on race gas and a 3.3 pulley and maybe a 10%, would absolutely smoke 90% of the cars out there if it's a 10R80 car. Again, no axles, no drive shaft because you're roll racing. Now, if you're talking drag racing, you ain't got shit for me, son. I'll take the white car out and do 870s like it's my job. So you ain't got shit for that car. Love you. Keeping up with the Joneses is the worst thing you could do. If you're in competition with people on the internet, that's the dumbest thing you could do. Nobody cares. Outside of our little tiny niche group, nobody cares what you're running. Like, nobody gives a shit. And I've seen people have imaginary beef with someone they've never met, someone and they're in competition with them. I'm in competition with me. I have not gone 8s stick shift. I want to do that. I've gone 8-1 in the quarter mile with the GT500. Now let's see if I can go 7s in the quarter mile with something, whether it be the Fairmont, the white car, or the GT500, because I've thought of this, right? Let's say in Minecraft, in a completely different planet, I'm out there with the white car, and it's running 850, 840, 830. We're making headway. And then some guy goes, you got to put a cage in it. Because it doesn't have a badass cage. It has a bolt-in 6-point. And I'm like, that motor goes in the GT500. Because the GT500 has the cage. So I'm not going to get rid of the GT500 because the GT500 is basically my cage. So if the white car starts running stupid good, I'm going to have to make a decision if I want to keep going faster and faster and get into the 7s. Well, the GT500 has the cage to do it in. It's got all the goodies. It's literally a carbon copy. The white car is a carbon copy of the blue car. One stick shift, GT500. The other one's a GT. Same rear end. Same gears. Same housing. Same anti-roll bar. Same control arms. Same K-member. Same everything. So I'm like, huh. So my motivation is self-imposed. Some of you guys go into crazy debt. Some guy goes, I want to do hard tire racing. Hard tire racing? What the fuck are you talking about? Go to a track that has good prep, put a sticky tire on it, and get after it. This weird, first gear leaves 6R80. There is no dumber group of guys that discount the 6R80 record because we're not launching with the factory 410 first gear. Could you imagine you actually listen to those fucking idiots? And then they sell you long travel shocks and you wonder why your car does bumper dragging wheelies? Look, you got to understand the internet is full of shit. Make a goal, work towards that goal and be done with it. Stop keeping up with the Joneses. Ryan 0789 says, Alex, I've been watching on and off and I drive my semi. I'm looking to get a 21 F-150 and add a Whipple to it. Will my transmission hold in stock form as long as I don't take it to the track? Yeah, as up to 800 horse, you should be okay. My Gentle Coyote swap with a Turbo 400 with a manual valve body and 390 gear with a spool is an absolute pain to drive in traffic. I keep that shit at home until track days. 100% right. There is nothing fun about driving a race car on the street. When I was 18 to 23, 18 to 23-year-old Alex would look at me and go, that motherfucker has it right. 18 to 23-year-old Alex looks at me and goes, that super beefy, very well-built old man is living my dream. And I'm looking at a highly refined fast car, like an 8-second V3. Yeah, an 8-second V3 sounds good to me. Probably Coyote swap, because I don't give a fuck about LS or LT shit. Boy, I piss a lot of people off if I Coyote swap a V3. As what do you think will happen in the upcoming horsepower awards between LT and Coyote? Okay, good question. So there's a new, yet another LS/LT versus Coyote, whatever. Every time the LS versus Coyote war has happened, it's favored the LS. It has 6 liters, super duper built, like cam up the, all this dumb shit. And then, like the first Coyote versus LS contest was so bad because they used a truck F-150 motor, put a Boss intake on it with a K&N and cams. I'm like, oh my Lord, what the fuck is going on? And then the guy tuning it, no offense to him, he's not a Coyote guy. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Now, they got FFRE. They put up their award-winning engine because if I'm not mistaken, FFRE has won awards for their Coyote race engine program versus a similarly equipped, same displacement LT. If I was in Vegas and I got all my chips on the table, I'm pushing everything to the Coyote on the horsepower side of things, meaning engine dyno. Chassis? That's up to whoever the fuck is setting up the chassis, whoever is tuning the trucks, that is the wild card. But power output, I am dragging all my chips to the Coyote. Same displacement, 5 liter. Turbo. Turbo! It's over. I guarantee they'll win it. But the driving portion, I don't fucking know. The Coyote is just built to make power on a turbo. Now, this is what the LT guys are going to say. You're limiting the turbo to a certain size. So you're giving 2 engines the same displacement, the same turbo. One is built by LME. The other one is built by FFRE. What's the problem? What, you want to give a 98 millimeter turbo to a 5.3 and handicap the Coyote to a 75? Come on, stop it. But, again, the driving portion, I have no fucking idea. But in terms of the power, I got all my money on the Coyote. Okay. I don't know, because no one tells me shit, the specs of the Coyote. And when is it supposed to happen? Or did it already happen? I don't know. The same people that say run an overdrive trans as if you shifted to 7th or 8th at the track. Keeping up with the Joneses keep them pockets extra sloppy.
Don't wanna be with Jay Money serving it.
Man! They're just looking for some weird imaginary trophy they can brag about at the car meet with 18-year-olds clapped out Hondas. Watching live through a plane Wi-Fi, heading to Cape Town holiday. Cape Town? South Africa? You going to South? Boy, you better not own a farm down there. Hey, Alex. 10R80 is bad at drag racing, but GTR and Hellcats are also blowing transmission at the strip. They end up with a 400 or sequential. What the fuck is your point? What the fuck is your point? What is your point? You know, some people make these weird connections that I don't understand. Alex, a 10R80 is bad at drag racing, but a GTR and Hell, what about the 6R80? I don't go outside for that reason. Didn't they do rods and pistons and cams for NA Coyote? Yes, PPG, dog box, triple disc in a car on street on slicks. Sounds fun. It's only fun at what? Right. Just inherited stock 2015 GT Auto. Inherited? Boy, what? I inherit debt when one of my fucking relatives dies. Auto with 54,000 miles. How reliable is the trans being 10 years old? No problem. Dude, I'm tuning a guy that was like, hey, Alex, the transmission is doing this weird sound when I get on it. What do you mean? Well, I'm cruising on the highway and I slap it. It goes, but then it downshifts. Oh, well, maybe it's time for a refresh. He goes, yeah, it's got 190,000 miles. I went, excuse me, did you just say your 6R80 in your Gen 2 Mustang has 190,000 miles? Yeah, I think it's due for a rebuild. I was tuning that. Please tell me please guys, if you have a 190,000 mile transmission and engine, please let me know. Fuck. And it's supposed to go in a C10. I'm done. LS Targe got super mad at me when I brought up the LS needs heads, cam, valve springs, headers, intake, manifold, and forged rotating assembly to do what stock Coyote does. Why don't you make it really simple? Off the assembly line, LT. Off the assembly line, Coyote. Boost and fuel. Get at me. Everyone thinks they want to drive a gutted car until you're driving a gutted car in 100-degree weather and you see your friends not sweating while driving. Remember you guys loved that I owned the Fox body? It was hell. It was hell to drive. I smelled like pump gas all the time. It leaked every fluid on the planet. It was hard to get it into gear. But it looked cool and it ran good. It drove terribly. It already happened. They haven't released it. So if you got a guy at FFRE, you could ask him. No, if they haven't released it, I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to give it up. But I put all my chips on the Coyote to make more power. And guess what is going to happen when they release the result and they say the Coyote beat it? Copium. Oh, because they didn't do an LS6. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Why don't you put a 98 millimeter on it with an LSX and a 427? What about that? Okay, and here's a similar motor to Brett's or a similar motor to Senior's. Here's an aluminum rodded, voodoo headed, voodoo cammed, Predator cam, 5.0. Here's 2,500 horsepower up your ass. Or 3,000. Cape Town is too beautiful to be true. Trust me, Theo. Okay. So if you drive a daily 2.9 Whipple truck, when does the blower need to be rebuilt? He asked a question earlier asking about the GTR so fast, even though it's a V6. A little behind. Piss LS gay fans off. Coyote swap a CTSV wagon. Nah, it's too expensive of a swap. How was this motor on miles? I don't know, but he said it had 190,000 miles. And I was like, I'm actually impressed that it actually shifted at wide open throttle at 190. Do you ever think these words are going to be uttered ever in history. My 2018 10R80 boosted car has 190,000 miles. This was a 6R80 supercharged Gen 2. And he just says, yeah, it's got 190 on it. I'm like, what? Bro. Great holiday, South Africa. Yeah, okay, I'm good. Africa's all fucked up. Get the fuck out of here. I'm literally in the middle of building a 1,000 horsepower LS. And so far, it's been completely torn apart, gone through, pistons, cam, heads, trunnions. It's hell for just 1,000 horsepower. Well, tell me this. What would you rather have? A Cobra motor? Or a 5.3 from a junkyard? And the LS guys go, duh, a 5.3 from a junkyard, stupid. And then they get the 5.3 from a junkyard. They have to tear it all apart. Cam, head, trunnion, ass, butt, this, titties. Get it on there. All right? And then it makes 450 horsepower. But it goes sixes with boost. Well, one did. Yours won't. 190,000 is insane. Why even tune it? I don't know. I didn't know. Nice though. It's still going. I was so happy. I was like, dude, just rebuild it. Sending it to Power by the Hour. Put some new clutches in it. Maybe intermediate shaft and a forward planetary. Let's go. 190,000 miles? Badass. That makes me happy. We know the Coyote is very reliable. The people get mad. More chains and brains. Oh my God, there's 2 chains? There's 4, actually. Oh, Chevy's just got 1. My 2012 GZ has 166,000 miles, 2.3 Roush, PMAS, 80 millimeter pulley, running like a champ, shifting at 7,400. If you do frequent oil changes, run premium fuel, I don't think there's really a mileage limit. Maybe at 150,000, you might want to put new chains, guides, and phasers in it. But the motor itself, leave it alone. Steve Morris will just say, just put water. Just put water in the black. Got a buddy with a Gen 1 106,000 miles. Beats the hell out of it. No problems. My black car was 115,000 miles. Stock motor. My Gen 1 F-150 has 246,000 miles. OEM motor and 6R80. Horse hooves and chocolate milk. Absolutely. A complete supercharged engine or this old ass block. You know, guys, I was here thinking the other day, like, who in their right mind would take a Cobra motor over a 5.3 from a Silverado? You know, I hate car people because they're stupid. And they're okay telling you they're stupid when they say shit like that. She's barely caught the live. Says, Juan Pruneda. Oh, bro, you want to hear something funny? I'm sorry, Corey. I got to throw you under the bus today. So Corey was dealing with a guy, right? And, you know, he's cataloging. And then he says, hey, Juan, do me a favor and load this tune and give me a hit to 7,500 RPMs. And the customer replies, my name's Pablo. I was like, boy, you know, I actually called the customer mistakenly retarded. He saw it. Me and Parker were having a conversation and I said something about retarded. And the customer goes, I am not retarded. I didn't even acknowledge it. I just went, oh, give me a hit to 5,000 RPMs. But Corey was like, hey, Juan. My name's Pablo. What the fuck are you talking about? I find it so funny that his name is also a very Hispanic Normal name. Ah, loved it. Loved it. I laughed so hard today. He called him Juan. Whatever, Juan. Oof, we never get oh my god cookies back. Yes, Eddie Diaz, we got oh my god cookies back, and now Melissa is farting on the dough. Right up her nice ass crack, just right up in there. Just fart on it. Ah, $200. Look at Ed. Look at the banner, Ed Diaz. No live shift. I was like, Eric Chill says motor solid seems to be running strong lately. 6 already has the squawk and some issues on the 3-4 shift. Watt hits don't seem to be affected though. My buddy convinced himself to get a 3.5 over a 5.0. What a dumbass. And his 18 King Ranch because he watched a bunch of reviews from mechanics who work on 5.0s that are never taken care of. Could be a stupid question since busted 5.0. But today I changed the oil and I got the Coyote tick. Ford up their own ass saying this is normal. You're gonna hate me. It's normal. Remember my red car? My red 15 GT was supercharged, was a 9.3 car, awesome. Then I stupidly took that motor out, put it in the Fairmont because I was peer pressured to do so by Jake. Cool. So he's like, hey, I got a motor sitting around that has the Coyote tick. I go, why do you have it? He goes, the customer just did not want it. He's like, it's got a tick. I don't want this fucking thing. And Alex, I took it apart. I saw nothing wrong. Chains, guides, pulled some of the bearings. It was beautiful. It just has a tick. I was like, how much you want for it? He goes, give me $1,500. Gave him $1,500. Bitch went 11.2 with that motor. NA. Juan Pablo, same. I get it. I hate to say it, but that's what I said. I said, well, same thing. He didn't take offense. He put the big eyes like, what you mean calling me Juan, motherfucker? It's funny shit. Snatch print cookie, ZR Juan, same, but different. You got this, dog. Finally, can't wait to get a cookie with a side of lotion. Oh, brother. She should really start stomping on the dough with her feet and film it. You like that, Eddie Diaz? You, and then call you like racist names. You like that? You know, obvious racial Hispanic names. Yeah, this is for you, you piece of brown shit. Then she makes a cookie out of it. She stepped on it, farted, and gave you a video of her demeaning you. $1,000. Juan was probably Pablo's middle name. Just chalk it up to the game. I love you, bro. JD Bruce, I love you. I love you. You guys, see, we have super fans here. And the super fans know the intimate details of the culture of the show. It makes me feel good that we've built something good here. Have you seen how great Patreon is? And by the way, guys, if you guys want me to configure the Patreon chats a little differently, guys, I'm open to suggestions. If you want to delete this chat, no one cares about this chat, make a different chat, let me know. That group is nearing 300,000 paid. 300 paid. So what's that? 300 times 15. That's $4,500 a month. I'll take that. Right? It's nearing 300 paid members. We get that sucker up to 500, 600, 1,000? Bro. Anthony says, Melissa can call me the N-word, but are you black, Anthony? Or not? Because then that would be really weird. Same, but different. Has anyone tried Ceratec to get rid of the tick? Does it work? Bro, just drive the fucking thing. Didn't your 1819 do that when the lemon law tick as well? Yeah, the 1819 started rattling. The 18 started rattling. The transmission broke on video, and the fuel pump died. Got it out of there. Just did an oil change on my wishblower Gen 3 through a can of Ceratec with Motorcraft 550. Coyote tick went away. He must be new to Coyotes. Mexican, not so soft. Yeah, Mexicans ain't soft about that shit. Mexicans ain't soft. And by the way, YouTube.com, Canelo. Like, Canelo was talking about chingada. Te voy a dar la chingada de tu vida, which in Puerto Rican Spanish means I'm gonna fuck your life. But in Mexican Spanish, chingada is like beat you up. So it kind of threw me for a loop. I was gonna look it up, but then I thought, that's not funny. Footprint, cookies, oven fans, good stuff. What swap do you recommend for my old 2-valve setup, 3rd gen or 2nd gen? It's a swap and getting a kit from PBH. What do you want to do? Guys, don't talk about the tick. You're not going to like Alex's answer. Exactly. All of them Eastern foreigners are gerbinders to me. The Patreon is badass, best way to support and get advice from. At any time of night, you get the best advice from the Patreon chat. I'm in there as much as I can be, but there are guys in there that are like in the shit. Like Tex, Shops, Radioactive, Slow 99, JD Swag, SVT, I think the GT500 guy, guys that know their shit. So if you have like I had to ask the chat and they're like, oh yeah, your bolts are too long. I was like, God damn it, love you guys. Watch me clean my kitchen with spick and span since you're Mexican. Boy, that's good stuff. Melissa can make a killing. A killing. And Homeboy can get an E-Ray. Get rid of that C8. I thought this was a racing channel. When are we getting an update on the ZR50? When there is one. Got to join the Patreon again. I'm slacking. That's not icing those cookies. It's Neiman Marcus Mango Scented Lotion. Make a cheaper sub. No, fuck that. $15 a month? You can't afford. They saved me a day's worth of work by identifying the issue with the oil pump. Make a cheaper sub. There's cheaper subs here on YouTube. There's members only videos, there's members only chats, members only lives. People get the more expensive one. Mine doesn't tick, just curious. Technical questions would be awesome because every question on YDBT chat ends up being a roast session, which is funny. Have you ever heard of Mexican nicknames? We ain't soft. Alex, if you had a race car, would you get a spick and span livery if Amory sponsored it? No, because then you're basically saying I'm a spick for money. No, fuck that. Like, I was going to make an analogy, but then there's just no good way of going about that analogy. Jay Swiss says, Alex, imagine ordering cookies and you get a video of Melissa calling you cabron. Oh my God, I'd come. But she has to say it like on a mic with her nails. And she goes, what's up, you fat cabron? Enjoy the cookie, pendejo. Like the normal, like 4 or 5 ounce cum becomes like 12 ounces. All day. The Patreon is an instructional guide for me on how to build a grudge truck. 1,000 horsepower roll racing turbo setup deal, 3rd gen, 10R80. Done. Right? You're gonna roll race your car. You're gonna put you have the ability to put any generation vehicle and any generation motor and transmission in there. Gen 3, 10R80, same thing. Dating channel live soon? Nope, not happening. Again, I gotta have subject matter and I gotta have time at Diaz. Time. I don't got no. I'm building cars. And then Monday you want me to get on a live? Come on, man. And then the girls see that they're like, "Fuck this guy, bro." Relax. When there is, I can't just do a live because you want me to do a live, guys. I got to do a live when I want to do a live because then I am motivated to do so and I bring good content. The last couple of the ones were great because I wanted to do them. The moment I'm forced to do them, they're not fun. It's only 15. Fuck y'all. 15 is nothing. Adulthood is 3 gallons of 91. Couch touching the wall, have an ass. Canceled my 15 OnlyFans subscription to join the Patreon. Why doesn't Don't My Got Cookies partner with Ford? Nice. You're basically saying I'm a spick for money. Right. You're basically saying I'm a spick for money. Right? Imagine you're like, Alex, in the spick and span livery is Alejandro Flores. You know what used to happen when I was YOLO douchebag? They would just call me douchebag. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. Fuck that. Then it became YOLO. And I don't like that either. Now it's Alex. Sir. I have a Mexican coworker. We call each other pendejo, puto, and roast each other. But that's not normal. Culero. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, sorry. No, don't be sorry. It's just I got to be motivated to do it. And if I'm not motivated to do it, I'll be honest with you guys. The next one is going to be good. Because I have found a cheat code. And it is women over 50 years old. There is a cheat code there that I found. And I went, oh, I'm like super hot to them. I'm like, you know, Enrique Iglesias. Whoa, you were exotic. I'm like, I am? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, and they got houses, they got BMs, Mercs, and I'm like, time to leverage some of that. We just want to know when you're live, so we're there. What else do you guys run on a stock car? Stock oil. Stock oil. Look at your cap. Look at your cap. Why does Ford warranty your car for 3 years, 60,000, or 5 years or whatever, and they put a recommendation of what oil to use on the cap? Alice, when the project cars are done, can we expect you to do a half-mile event? Yes. So the Corvette is a half-mile car. The Corvette is the most aerodynamic car I have. The most, the lightest car, aside from the Fairmont. Fairmont's a brick. That doesn't catch flight. It's got great brakes. So the goal with the Corvette, eventually, I don't think it'll do with the stock motor, is to run 200 miles an hour in the half mile. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of ZR1s do 200 miles an hour in the half mile. And if they do, they're turboed up and dumb shit. But the goal would be 200 miles an hour in the half mile with the Corvette. Coyote swap. If that becomes a thing, that car is going to be a roll race, half mile thing. But it's not going to be awesome because it's stick shift, right? The DCT all-wheel drive cars got that shit on lock. But in like the sport class, I might be able to squeeze my way in there. And then I'll go to 2K in the roll class. I'm a slut for chips and queso. I'm buying a high mile Gen 2. Should I do anything to worry about? Not really, honestly. As long as it wasn't abused. Look, I would buy a high mileage California special all day. Because I know it was owned by an old lady that didn't give a fuck. Guys, we gotta send women to Alex. Alex hunted for that dusty box. Que se joda. Puh. A garage? What? Another turbo kit? Yeah. Pal carajo. Bro, I gotta worry about my future. I begged EPA to bring croissants back. He went, here, damn. I'm not gonna say that word. Top shelf liquor, 530. The older berry, the sweeter the juice, or no juice. They got ex-husbands, exactly. Boy, your ex-husband did good. Moves in the cars. Oh, he's got a lift? He's got a lift? Stop it. Alejandro Iglesias, Cal Brandon. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. You're looking good, brother. You're not exotic to them. They just don't have to deal with the blue chew fellas anymore. Instead of the juice box, you leave with Ensure. And Tiger Balm. Guys. I leave with, what is it called? Pedialyte and Tiger Balm. Instead of a fruit roll-up and a juice box, is Pedialyte and Tiger Balm. I didn't know what Tiger Balm was. Tiger Balm. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this? Una viejita me dio esto. Y yo, ¿qué carajo es esto? What the fuck is Tiger Balm? And it's like Ben Gay. Oh, I guess. Wow, you guys need an elaborate page for a fucking Ben Gay? Yeah. They gave me one of these. I was like, why am I getting Pedialyte and Tiger Balm? Well, that's what old ladies give you after you rattle their box for a little while, you know? They're like, here's some Tiger Balm for your legs and hips. And I'm like, I'm good, honey. Royal Purple gives you 20 horsepower due to windage off the grade. You got to get yourself a 7-year-old scary like your guys a few years ago. Dust goes away when it's wet. Nice. Steel making business decisions. What's up, everyone? This is Narnia Mercado. Working late. We'll catch a replay tomorrow. Tiger Balm and Pedialyte, dog. Tiger Balm and Pedialyte. I typed that right as he said that. They have all glass bowl full of lemon candy. He leaves them with Ensure and vanilla pudding. Look. I just did this thing, right? Okay, we'll talk a little bit. 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes, guys, right? Dating sites and stuff. So, you know, my age range is 25 to 40 because I got to be attracted to them. And, you know, they match, but they're, you know, they're, I'm sure if they're really good looking, they get a lot of guys. So you get lost in the sauce and you're like, whatever. So one day I put my search criteria from 45 to 55. My phone battery died. What the hell's happening, right? And I look and I got like 50 people, and I'm like, ain't no way. But sure enough, they're old. You're like, damn, ta vieja, ta vieja, ta. But then you find those genetic miracles that are like, you know, still holding on to it. And I'm like, okay. And then you see their setups, their whips, they're vacationing. They're at the tail end. And I'm like, I might be able to leverage this into a good thing. Because to them, I'm like exotic. Ribbon candy on the table. Licorice. Tiger Bomb. Caramel nips. What's wrong with caramel nips? Shut the fuck up. I guess I'm old. I love these. How dare you? I love these. I like hard caramel candy. I guess I'm old. Takes off veneers and no worrying about too much teeth. Tiger Bomb inserts livery on the white car. Does help with sliding action too. Ever seen graphite input shaft bearing? You're not wrong. Yeah, Sofia Vergara's 50. Right? Sofia Vergara's 50. Alex, phone going off like he was the hot girl on the dating app. Saw someone on TikTok say to get a P1 tuner's tune and you'll never go back to Lund. Does anyone know who they are? Ask Junior. Fuck. I love it. In my early 20s, and definitely got to knock a MILF off the bucket list. All I'm saying is someone has to inherit that big-ass house and garage. Why not your boy? But you got to bring extra baby oil for the age range. That basically Werther's caramel candy, basically. You find one with money, she'll finish your projects. This was definitely grown-ass man stream today. Love it. No, Alex is seen now eating hard caramel candy. The hell is wrong with you? This is wonderful. How dare you? I love it. Werther's Originals on the nightstand. Licorice candy to me is old people candy. Lemon, like, what do you call those? Something twist. I think lemon twist or whatever the hell it's called. But not caramel candy. I've liked this since I was a kid. What was the movie where Bernie Mac got gummy head from Stifler's mom? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But what I'm saying is, if I am attractive to that whole subsect of women, let's see if I can fall into a good situation. I just saw a short ripping off S650. No, look, the ghost cam stuff, if you open up HP Tuner software, it's indexed. It not specifically, but there is Lopi idle stuff. So they're just enabling some stuff in there. Butterscotch candies, the coffee nibs were the go. Exactly. How dare you? Cream Savers for the win. Cream Savers. Remember Cream Savers? Those went away. I love that shit. The fuck y'all throwing shade at Alex for no reason. This stuff is great. Werther's Original caramel candies and Rock's hard caramel candies. You think that's like an old person thing? These require teeth to get into. Does it show old people or kids? I don't know. It kind of shows a sister there. Right? Ain't that like a... I don't know what they're trying to say. Wait, what's happening? I don't know what they're trying to say. Maybe I have to give up that candy. Cream Savers were legit. Okay, Cream Savers. Cream Savers were badass. And they had orange and strawberry. Ridiculously sweet candies. Yeah, orange, strawberry, and chocolate? Stop it. Oh, bro. Oh. The problem with Amazon is, right, like, I love atomic fireballs. I love atomic fireballs. Like, and maybe that's an old guy candy. But this is the problem with atomic fireballs. So if you go to Amazon, you can only find atomic fireballs in ridiculous quantities. Like a trillion atomic fireballs. And I'm like, why? Why so many? You know? Oh, bro, atomic fireballs? Amazon's a cheat code for candy. And you could do candy assortment. You just type in candy assortment. Bro, stop it. Candy assortment. And you just like, oh my Lord. Jesus Christ, penny candy. Damn, these little pineapple shits. Back in the day. Oh my God. Oh, me vengo. Mira. Oh my God. Look at this. Dude, don't go to Amazon and type in candy assortment. It ends up at your house immediately, and you will have instant diabetes. It's just everywhere. I love it. I love it. I love it. Next day delivery. Fuck the GTD, and if you like it, GP, fuck yourself. Bubble tape was my shit when I was a kid. The chop is way inferior than to the Lunds. Heard both. Yeah, so this is the thing. When you have a history of the Camloped Idol tune that you developed, you know how you want it to sound. I'm not going to give secrets away, but it's not just cam position, and it's not throttle position. There's other stuff that dictates how loud, how throaty the cadence of the chop can be manipulated in the tune. Those guys don't know that because they just enable and move some stuff around and go, oh, look, it's stable. That's good enough. Have you heard other tuners Camlope tune? And the Lund seems to have a consistency to it. So, yeah. And again, who cares? The chocolate caramel ones were bronze medal for sure. Orange, then strawberry. Atomic Fireballs are so good. Alex would eat the whole 40-ounce jar of Fireballs. Yes, and I have great teeth. And I don't want to ruin them. But Atomic Fireballs are a weakness. You might find your Atomic Fireballs at Walgreens. Nope. This is the only... It used to be Lifesavers Peppermint, then this. Now, Atomic Fireballs, cannot find them. You know where I find them? Juno Beach gas station has a candy shelf. They have them there. Yeah, I wanted to get Alex going on the GTD. Who cares about the GTD? Used to love Fireballs. I to this day, I love them. Cherry Clan and Doublon was the best. Amazon has wild, sexy toy section. Wow. Timing, but not Spark Advance. Yeah, right. When someone said they took a screenshot and they're like, I developed an emissions-friendly Camloped Idol tune, and the screenshot had -8 degrees of spark advance. I was like, you know what happens when you have negative spark at idle? You get cherry red exhaust. So I'm just like, look, that's what we're dealing with. So we're just like, I'm not going to help these people. I'm going to let them figure it out on their own. And once you saw boosted S650s doing dyno hits, but not doing shifting hits from other tuners, you're like, oh, all of a sudden, yeah, you can make power on the dyno, but can you make it shift? Probably not. Chiclets are great. Twizzlers, baby, only near retirement homes. I don't know what's happening there. What the oil cap says, but full synthetic on stock motor. Hey, hit live on your shit, Oliver. Hit live on your shit. That's the DEI version. When Alex getting a GTD, coffee caramel, Werther's for the win. For you young punks. Yeah, look, I can go off on candy all day. Wait, did P1 contact Junior? No. One of their tuners lives close to Junior. And I'm going to say it because Junior won't say it. He don't want nothing to do with you, bro. Ignore him. Don't go near him. Don't wave to him. Don't acknowledge his existence. He don't want shit to do with you, bro. That's Alejandro Flores saying this. Because we see the shit you say online. We see the screenshots of you talking shit on us. Literally making fun of us with ops. So you think all of a sudden you're going to be on Facebook talking shit and then be chummy in person? Hey, buddy. Tapping him on the shoulder and shit. Ignore him. He does not exist. He's too nice to tell you to fuck off. I'm telling you, fuck off. Fuck off. You talk shit online, you think you could be chummy in person? Keep the same energy in person. Say, hey, you suck. No. Talking as if you're fucking chummy. As if you're going to share information. Leave him alone. I need him focused. That's me saying that. I'm not saying he is not willing to tell you that. But John's a gentleman. If he's with his wife out there, he ain't going to punch you in the face. I would. If you're talking shit on me online. I would. No sweat. I'll do like my brother. My brother kicked the guy out from the street. He was on the street And my brother said, get out of here. And the guy's like, what? He goes, get out of my face. You're on this side of the street. Get out. And the guy left because he knew my brother was going to fuck him up. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So we talked about Ford recalls nonstop. Again, they have display errors and now they have brake system issues. It's not a good look for Ford. Stock dropped a little bit, but it's been the year of the recall. If you look at the recalls of this year, it's probably millions and 2, 3, 4, 5 million cars that have been recalled. And it's pretty wild that it doesn't seem to be an end to their, I don't know, lack of quality control. We talked about what's the best setup for roll racing. We talked about 190,000 miles 6R80s. We covered a whole bunch of stuff. And again, guys, if you want to have 24/7 access to me and some of the most knowledgeable people on the Coyote platform, go to Patreon. It's $15 a month. You have access to me, direct message, or have the chat go in on you. And if you guys want to direct message me suggestions to change the chats around, let me know. Technical questions, keep it kosher. We want to attract more people so that I get paid, I get more projects. We build, and build. And if I ever do a giveaway, you know it's a true giveaway. I don't say, well, you got to buy a shirt. I'm going to say, if you're a member, right, because you're already paying, you guys get first dibs on giveaways. So hopefully that's a little bit of an enticing thing. There's potentially a blower giveaway coming up pretty soon, but you already have to have a supercharged Coyote. So I'm going to have to make sure some of the rules get tightened up for that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back on Sunday morning because tomorrow we're not working. So Lund Racing is not open tomorrow or Monday. Long weekend. Enjoy Labor Day weekend. But we will be active Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. for a peasant chat, and we'll hang out then. See you guys later. Bye.